Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, over the weekend, it was announced that Cassie had filed a lawsuit against Diddy that was suing for $30 million after years of abuse and alleged rape. With a matter of, it seems to be like a day, the lawsuit was called off and both parties released a statement saying that they settled the matter privately.
Well, they settled it, but not without setting social media on fire. Now, Slim Thug spoke candidly about Cassie, saying he felt like she and other victims are trying to extort people for money and that there should be a time limit on people coming forward.
Coming back and getting puffed, I don't believe in that, man. When shit go down, speak on that shit right then, or it's out of it. It should be null and void. You shouldn't even have no type of nothing. You shouldn't be able to do shit unless you let the people know what happened immediately. There should be a time limit on this.
I don't know if I agree. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, of course, he has since apologized for his comments and backtracked the statement. Ain't he locked up?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that was
I'm giving out young thugs. There's too many thugs out here in these streets.
Right. Now, joining us this morning, we got professional counsel Spirit to talk about Slim's comments and to break down why, especially in cases involving sexual abuse, and it may take some people more time than others to speak up and reveal what they've been subjected to. Spirit, good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Thank you for coming on.
Look, I'm great. I'm feeling like that. It's too many hugs and not enough hugs, Ricky. What's good?
Hello.
Slim hug.
Hey, how common is it for people not to talk about abuse or trauma that they've experienced?
Oh, my gosh, that is the norm. It's not just common. That is the norm. And what a lot of people don't realize, Ricky, is that 1 in 4 girls and women and 1 in 26 men and boys will experience an attempted or completed rape in their lifetime. And many people have had to survive it more than once. And of the folks who have had to survive it, Ricky, 28% have had to survive that at the hands of one of their intimate partners.
Spirit,
it's so common.
Is it fear on why people choose not to report being assaulted?
Well, it's not just fear. It's the realization that oftentimes, more often than not, they are victimized over and over and over again. So it's not just the sexual assault. They're victimized by the friends and family who either don't believe them or don't know how to support them, by the legal system who just rakes their whole life over the coals as though if you've ever had sex before, then somehow you brought this on yourself. And just the trauma that goes along with it, the shame, the embarrassment, the fear, the sadness, the depression, it takes a lifetime to heal. And most victims, they experience sexual assault before they're even 30 years old, which means they are carrying this pain and this trauma for decades of their life.
And Spirit, Special K, I think that when men make statements like what Slim Thug made, I think that's really obnoxious. And I think that how do you address people men particularly, who say that women should speak up immediately? And how dare you? Like, I just think that's so.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That's obscene almost. Like, who are men?
Well, you know, Kay, it's hard because it's spoken like a man who has never been experienced sexual assault and who hasn't had enough conversations with the women in his life. I mean, you hear me say 1 in 4. Let's be real. There's more than 4 women on this conversation right now.
Right.
And so oftentimes men are not only the perpetrators of the violence, but they're also the ones who don't know how to have the conversation and don't even understand what sexual assault is. And they are the ones running all of the power systems. They are the law enforcement officers.
What is exactly? Give us some examples of things that's considered sexual assault, because some people think that sexual assault is just like rape or something. Sexual assault. Give us some, some leads on examples of what exactly it is, so we get,
It's very simple. Sexual assault is any time a woman or a man, or unfortunately a boy or a girl, has sexual advances towards them that they do not want. And we recognize rape oftentimes because of the sheer violence when we think about it. But we don't think about intimate partner rape, the number of wives or girlfriends who don't want sex and their husbands or their boyfriends feel entitled to it. So they force or pressure them until they give in, or until they give in to a lesser sexual act in order to save themselves. I don't want to have sex with you, but maybe if I perform this act on you or this act on you, it will allow me to get out of the situation and survive. Sexual assault and sexual violence can even get into the technological pieces of this, where people will share your sex acts. They will video your sex acts. They will blackmail you with some of the past sex acts, even if they were consensual. And so what we have to understand is these are the kinds of wounds that last a lifetime. And oftentimes when people are suffering from the consequences of sexual assault, they don't even realize that that's what it is. The reproductive issues, the gastrointestinal problems, the cardiovascular problems, the sexual health problems, the drug and alcohol, the risky sex. Like, it's not just about the act in the moment. It's about the scars that last a lifetime that people don't even understand are affecting them. From not being able to work to not being able to plug into relationships, because it's hard to really live out loud and live fully when part of you has died.
Spirit, I have a question. I want to address this concept of like emotional suppression, because people experiencing maybe at a young age or even maybe as adults, and they're just carrying this thing inside and they're trying to cope by filling their life with other things. How do you transform that emotional suppression, that pain that you're experiencing, or even addressing that trauma into coming forward and being brave and having, just the courage to say something about it?
Well, it's not even about being brave, Maria. It's really about the need to heal yourself.
Right.
If you don't recognize that what you have experienced is a wound that needs treatment, in the same way if you had a gunshot wound or you broke your leg, when you experience violence, that is an impact or a wound to your body, to your emotional wellness as well. And so that requires treatment. And so for all of these people who are suppressing it by doing things that are therapeutic so that they can survive, they work out consistently, they go to church and they pray constantly, they exercise, they eat right, they do all of the things except for the biggest part, which is to heal the trauma. We have to heal the trauma, and so therapy, specifically for sexual violence, trauma-focused therapy, is required in order to heal. Otherwise, all you're doing is just figuring out ways to deal, and you just suppress it day after day, like we do every other trauma or stressor that we live with.
Wow. And Spirit, as always, thank you so much for jumping in this conversation with us. Let everybody know if they need help or have any more questions, how can they reach you?
They can call me at the office. I got a whole team that can help connect them to help Rickey, even if it's not me. And that's at 888-718-2T2S. Again, 888-718-2T2S. Or they can find me on all of my social media at Talk, the number 2 Spirit. That's Talk 2 Spirit.